Hey everyone, welcome back to another Merly on Time. My name is Chris. I unbox and review budget watches, and normally I would have unboxed and revealed the watch that I'm highlighting on my channel this week, but unfortunately I didn't get the watch in as quickly as I thought I would, and I got it on Friday, and I was just very busy this weekend, and so I thought I would just do an unbox and reveal / review. And this is a very special one today because I'm going to be sharing some things about, from my personal life that tie into the watch that I'll be reviewing. A couple of weeks ago, I reviewed the Mother Road from Sangamon. You can check out that review by clicking on the link that shows up there. This one, now Sangamon sent me that watch and I got to keep it, and I was so impressed with the lineup that I bought this one. Now this one has been reviewed by a couple of other channels, so I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail on the watch. I just want to show it to you. Mostly I want to share with you a story from this book. And it's not story time or anything like that. I'll tell you why this is special in just a moment. So stay tuned. So Sangamon, as always, has great packaging and presentation in their watches. And if you watched my other video on the Mother Road, comes in a very similar box. Brian has sent to me the rubber strap. I don't know if this normally would come with the watch, but he was nice enough to send me the extra rubber strap with this one. And this watch is the Omaha Beach watch. And it also comes with these little dog tags, which, neither here nor there. I mean, we're really getting a watch for the watch, but that's a nice little added touch. But they also sent in this really nice commemorative coin. The watch celebrates D-Day, and I will, talk about the design of the watch. It's very well designed. Very well thought out, and this commemorative coin comes with it. This is actually really cool. I chose this watch because after reviewing the Mother Road and seeing their lineup of watches, I really loved the story of this watch, the design of this watch, and this particular color. I really, really love. So this is their Omaha Beach. And I mean, just look at this. This thing is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, what am I wearing today? Well, today I am wearing the Zenea Eula Diver in Hornet Yellow. This thing is absolutely amazing. Jason from Zenea sent this to me. It is their prototype model. He hasn't yet sent me the return label to send it back to him, and so I thought, well, I'm going to wear it today. It's just a beautiful watch. I'm getting one of these for my collection. Absolutely beautiful. So, this is the Sangamon Omaha Beach watch. I'll spec it out for you, and then I just want to share with you a personal story from my grandfather, who was in D-Day in the war, and who wrote a letter to my grandmother about the experience of it. So that is really the personal touch to the review today. It's very, very special story for me. So let's get Super Cali out and spec this thing out. I'll show it to you on wrist, and then talk about the design features of the watch that commemorate June 6, 1944, D-Day. This particular watch commemorating the the invasion of D-Day on Omaha Beach. So let's get the specs out of the way, wrist shot out of the way, and then I want to share with you the letter that my grandfather wrote to my grandmother after D-Day. So let's take care of the specifications. Let me just show you what is actually written on these dog tags first, and because I think it is, although I'm not going to wear these or anything like that, I think it is cool to include it as part of the watch. And so this dog tag here, and this is the reason for the design of the watch: we honor the brave soldiers who fought for our freedom. Sangamon Watch Company. And then the next dog tag says Omaha Beach, D-Day, June 6, 1944, Operation Overlord, Normandy, France. So really, really, really cool. Now, Super Callie was rude to me last week, and I had to muzzle her. And you can see that she is going to be a little bit quiet today because she doesn't want to get muzzled again. So let's take Super Callie and let's spec out this Omaha Beach watch. It has a case size from the 8 to the 2, 43.6, 43, well, let me just get that again here. From the 8 to the 2, 43 mil, 43.3, let's just call it 43 mil. The thickness from the case back to the crystal is 12.4 mil. You got a bandwidth at the lugs of 22. That'll be a 22 millimeter bandwidth. Let's try and get that on there right. Yeah, 22. And your lug tip to lug tip distance on this one is 51, just over 51 millimeters. It wears very, very nicely. It was supplied on this genuine leather strap. It does have the Sangamon branding on the underside. Genuine leather, handmade. And this is really, really nice. Really supple, really comfortable. Right out of the box. Very, just smooth. No breaking in required. It just fits beautifully. You can see it is a military style watch, obviously fitting in with the theme of D-Day. So let me talk to you a little bit about just the design features of the watch. But let's finish the specs. So you have a stainless steel case that is brushed. You have the Sangamon logo on the crown, so it is a signed crown. You have a beautiful piece, look at that, of domed, maybe double domed, but a domed sapphire crystal covering the dial. You have a very beautiful case back with a laser engraved soldier. They chose the soldier to be running to commemorate the storming of the beach on D-Day. The watch does have 5 atmospheres or 50 meters of water resistance. It does have a push-pull crown, and it does have the Japanese Seiko VD78, I think it is, movement in the watch. All stainless steel, 316L stainless steel for the case and the fixed bezel as well. Just an absolutely beautiful watch. Let's talk about the design features of the watch that commemorate D-Day. So let's talk design features that are all inspired by D-Day. The subdial, and I'll zoom in here on the watch, the running seconds hand, and the star, beautiful star on the subdial, represents the star that was printed on all U.S. tanks and trucks at the time of the war. The bezel on this, as you can see, has teeth on it. And the teeth on the bezel represent the tracks of a Sherman tank that was used by the U.S. military during the war. And then as you go to the case back, obviously you have that beautiful laser engraved soldier and the date, June 6, 1944. But surrounding the soldier are 24 stars as well. And these stars represent, each star represents 100 U.S. soldiers whose lives were lost during the invasion on D-Day on Omaha Beach. 2,400 U.S. soldiers sacrificed their lives storming the beach, storming Omaha Beach on D-Day. And each of those stars represents 100 military lives lost storming the beach. Obviously, you also have, let's get back on camera here. Obviously, you also have, with the exception of the size, a very military style, field style watch with the large Arabics around the dial. I love the Sangamon logo at the 12 o'clock and the name Freedom, Sangamon Freedom. So this, I guess, is called the Sangamon Freedom Watch or the Sangamon Freedom Omaha Beach Watch. I love that they put the Sangamon logo on at the 12 o'clock, but you can see that it is a military fields type watch. Again, with the exception of the size. Most field watches in that time period would have been 38 to 40 millimeters, maybe even 36 to 40 millimeters. This one comes in at 43 millimeters. But it has beautiful, bold, really legible Arabics on the dial. And for me, the reason I chose this particular one was I think the red off of the white is really beautiful, but for me the red represents, obviously, and I don't know if this was necessarily a design intent on this particular one by Brian and Tyler at Sangamon Watch, because they have other colorways that don't have, red numerals, but I chose the one with the red numerals because it represents the blood. To me, it represents the blood that was shed in order to secure and win our freedom. And here it is on my 7.5-inch wrist, and you can see it's just, I am so impressed with the Sangamon brand. I'm going to leave a link in the description of the video as well as a pinned comment of their website. You can go check out their lineup. They are releasing a dive watch soon as well, but just look at this thing. It is absolutely beautiful. Sub $200 as well. They sell it on their website, I believe, for $199. I love this watch. I highly recommend it. Okay, now it's time to talk to you about a bit of my personal life and something that ties into this watch today. This book was given to my mother on Christmas Day 2001. My mother had ovarian cancer, and my wife thought that it would be good for my mother to, do it. This is like a scrapbook within a book. And so you can see it says a record book of memories on it. And this was presented to my daughter. And I'll just show this to you. To Sarah, the love of my life. From Grandma Christie. Happy birthday, April 18th, 2002. My mom passed away in December of 2002, just a few months before this book was presented to my 2-year-old on her second birthday. There's a bunch of stuff in this book that is, just about my mom and her life that my daughter now has as a keepsake. But what I did want to show you was this article. And it ties in with this watch. This is my grandfather, my mother's father, Harold Barnes. Now, my mom did remarry. That's why you saw Mary Ann Christie there. But this article was published August 18th, 1944. And I wanted to read to you this article. It was published in the Owen Sound Sun-Times. That's the city that my grandparents lived. And let me just read this to you. Let me just show you my grandfather again. My grandfather was at this battle. That's my grandfather. A lot of my family think that he looks a lot like me. What do you think? I don't know. Maybe so. But let me read to you this article, and then we'll just kind of wrap this up. So here's what it says. Mrs. Harold Barnes, daughter Karen, age 2, that was my mom's sister, are leaving Saturday for Toronto, where they will meet shipwright Harold Barnes, coming home on furlough for the first time since last October. Shipwright Barnes, who is a son of Mr. and Mrs. William Barnes of this city, has been serving on a Royal Navy cruiser and took part in the invasion of Normandy. He has written a most interesting letter to his wife describing the invasion, and this is the letter that he wrote that was published in the paper. Here it goes. I am perfectly okay, with the exception that my eyes are about to pop out for want of sleep. But I should complain. What about the poor devils who are ashore? Well, I can tell you what I've seen, as we were given permission and it has been told on the wireless. We left a port in Scotland on Saturday, June 4th, and as the weather was rough, the invasion was held up for 24 hours. On Sunday, late in the afternoon, we steamed into the Channel and overtook 2 large fleets of landing craft, complete with barrage balloons. It was a lovely, sunny day. Many other landing craft could be seen coming away from the south coast. We steamed along slowly with other cruisers and battleships. About 3 a.m. Monday, you could see the French coast being bombed in large fires which lasted practically until dawn. The minesweeper swept right in and we followed close behind. At 5 a.m. we opened fire and bombarded the coast, and then the troops went in. We had an observer offshore, and whenever the troops came up against anything which was too tough to crack without artillery, as they had none as of yet, we were given the position and would promptly proceed to lay it low. We knocked out 1 pillbox in 3 rounds. Yesterday, June 7th, we were given a target and opened fire, and later we received a message from the observer. Well done. The troops are advancing. It sure is funny seeing these amphibious jeeps called ducks being born, as it were, out of the bow of the landing craft. You no doubt have seen them in the newsreels. On Monday at midnight, Jerry was flying overhead, and some of us were in the forecastle about to drop the hook. A few bombs dropped around the ship, but not near enough to rock the ship. Some huge hollow concrete blocks have been towed across the channel and are being taken onto the beach and then sunk to form a wharf so the troop ships and supply ships can get right in to facilitate unloading. One cannot realize the magnitude of this invasion operation without participating in the small way that we are, although we are very important. Wow. My grandfather was a part of the Canadian Navy forces who were supporting the U.S. forces by, bombarding the beach with artillery. And as you heard in the letter, one of their ships hit a German pillbox that helped the U.S. soldiers advance onto the beach. This is a special watch, and This is a very special book done by my mom, and I think a pretty awesome piece of history with my grandfather's letter written to my grandmother about that very battle. So guys, whenever you leave your house, make sure you have a great looking piece to wear on your wrist like this Sangamon Freedom Omaha Beach watch. And make sure wherever you're going, you get there on time. Check out the video and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for letting me share a little bit of family history with you today along with the watch. God bless you guys. We'll see you in the next one.